So before we get into this video, if you guys want to check out my feature film pasty, you can check out the link tree down below. We also have more Rocky Wake news coming soon, so check out our link tree, check out our short films, check out all that really cool stuff. So there seems to be a huge misunderstanding when it comes to the movie Him, because I think there is a good chunk of people who think that Jordan Peele wrote and directed this film. Like, this is the next Jordan Peele film, and it's not. It's not even close. But it is produced by him, and it comes from his studio, Monkey Paw Productions. And it happens. I understand. I know it's all for marketing. But when I see from the son of executive producer of the greatest film of all time, it really does almost set up your film for something that shouldn't be set up. But Him follows a star football player who is basically predicted to be the next big thing. He ends up getting injured, and he goes to this, I guess you could say, facility ran by Marlon Wayans, which is Isaiah White, which is basically the Tom Brady of this universe. But essentially, he's going to train with Isaiah White so they can see if he is going to be basically good enough for their team. So that's basically what it's about, but it's a horror film. So you take that element of a guy that's going to train to become possibly the next big football sensation, but add a horror twist to it. You don't really get many sports horror films, and that was what I was excited about, because I'm not really the biggest, sports guy. I don't watch sports all the time. I mean, I'm a Bucks fan. What can I say? But I was intrigued. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say off the bat that Him is not. It is not a 29%. It is not this 2 out of 10 film. It has more to it than that. Unfortunately, and I will say this, and I will scream this out loud, and look, I respect film criticism, because I do feel like, in a way, film criticism can be an art form in itself, because it can help a lot of films, but it also can be a great companion piece to films. I mean, especially, look at Roger Ebert. Some of the reviews that he made. But the thing about film criticism today, and this is the reason why I don't give a score on anything, I don't review things personally, I just call my stuff discussions, is because I feel like when audience members, especially the general audience, when they go online and they type in a film and they see that big 90%, they instantly want to go see it. And if they see something that even has remotely under like maybe a 70, maybe a 75, something like that can detour someone away from watching the film, which I think is completely bizarre. It's like the video game paradox, where basically if a game gets an 8 out of a 10, it's bad, which is nuts to me. Like, every game has to have like a 9 or a 10 for it to be this legendary thing that's on this big pedestal. One thing that I've garnered, and one thing that I have kind of realized for myself, is there are so many films out there that have like a 30, 40, 50% on Rotten Tomatoes that I would literally put up there with like some of the greatest films ever made. I'm not even kidding. So when I see a review score, I do not think about it at all. Him should not be getting bashed. But let's talk about it for a second. So with Him, one thing that I appreciated the most about Him was its experimental nature whenever it was telling the story, because it does some interesting things with editing. It does some interesting things with its camera work, and it also does some pretty interesting things with its narrative, which I don't want to get into any spoilers. Now, yes, this film is... You might not like the last fourth of this film. I'm not going to lie, I was not the biggest fan either. I didn't really like how it ended. I didn't like where it went, but that doesn't mean that this film is bad. One thing that I was telling my buddy when we walked out of this theater, and we both agreed on it, was the performances were really good. There was one questionable line of dialogue that I just was not on board for. I don't know what was going on. It was said by Marlon Wayans, and it involves football, but this is Marlon Wayans' best performance. I said it. I think it is. I think Marlon Wayans is probably underutilized most of the time when it comes to films, because I would love to see him in more serious stuff. I think Marlon Wayans is a fantastic actor. I've said it. It's out there. And he's been in some pretty wonky stuff, there's been some things that he's been in that are definitely things. But even Tyreek Withers, I think that he was just, there was something about him that I liked watching him, and I could feel for him, and I wanted to root for him. And, there's things about this film that you can like. I think the main thing that's hurting this film, and I think, because that's the whole point of this video, is I kind of just want to make a commentary on it. But it's just, I feel like the thing that's hurting this film the most is the Jordan Peele comparison, because, again, there is a lot of people, especially in the general audience, that thinks that this is a Jordan Peele film, and it's not. But it's still not a bad film. I don't understand it. I really don't. When I see films that get, I mean, this is IMDb for almost any independent film. You're either going to get a 1 or a 10. Anytime that I see a film that has a 1, 2, sometimes even a 3, I almost think it's personal. I do. I really do. Because when I think about it, when I watch movies, especially films that are deemed bad, like for instance, okay, I'm not going to make a video on these, but I watched the Twilight films back to back, like all 5 of them, because my wife threw a Twilight party. And even though those films, in a way, to me, sometimes can almost be patchwork, I think I get it. They made $1 billion. You know, those films don't care what you think of them, and they just don't. And I really hope that Him can become that. I really do. I hope that this movie ends up making a lot of its money back, like all of its money back. I hope it exceeds box office expectations, because I do feel like this is almost this is a general audience friendly film. I think it is. It does, again, it goes places, and it does some things that I could see, like, you know, kind of peeing people off, but Him deserves more. I do think it does. I don't think that it's this worst film of the year thing. That's just, I don't see it personally. But watch the film, form your own opinion about it. I would just hate for all the hate that this film is getting, you know, to deter people away from watching it, because it's unique, it's interesting, it has a great atmosphere, it's got really, I think, intelligent editing. I think the cinematography is great. I just honestly, again, I just don't understand the hate. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, maybe subscribe. Take it easy. Let me know what you thought of Him down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.